Hi there, this is Jennifer Thompson from DeviantThinking.com. Thanks for joining me today. I'm so excited to share with you a plan for learning. We're going to talk today about using a learning plan to achieve your goals. Today we're going to cover why it's important to even have a learning plan, and then how to create your own so you can customize your learning plan for you and help you really skyrocket and achieve those goals that you would like to achieve. So why is a learning plan important? Well, I think Einstein sums it up best with his quote, "We cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them." So what do we mean by that? If we really go and we look at it, we can say, hey, if we've got a goal and we want to achieve a really big goal, what are the obstacles that we have to achieving it? Well, often those obstacles actually come in the form of lack of knowledge. It's the things we just don't know. It's the stuff that pushes us beyond our comfort zone that helps us to achieve our goals. And if we don't have a plan of how we fill in this lack of knowledge, it will take us a lot longer to achieve our goals. Now, I can hear the critics already. I can hear them saying things like, I know what I need to achieve my goal. I just need to buckle down and put in some elbow grease and a little bit of willpower, and I can achieve anything I want to achieve. All it is hard work that's needed on my part. It's not lack of knowledge. Well, I'd really like to challenge that assumption, because what I find is that often we blame our lack of achievement on our willpower. And what it really comes down to is maybe we're missing something. Maybe it's something easy even, but we've missed it because it's not in our realm of knowledge today. So I want to challenge your thinking on that it's not just an opportunity to sit down and buckle down for more willpower, but what's a really logical way to help learn things to propel you forward. Let's take a really common goal. I often hear from people they want to lose weight. I was in the same boat for quite a while, and I saw it as a lack of willpower. What happens if I would just buckle down, do what I know I'm supposed to do? I would probably lose the weight. Well, what if we suddenly changed that paradigm and we decided to believe, what if it's a lack of knowledge that's holding us back as opposed to a lack of willpower? Well, what are the things that I might do as I looked at the idea of weight loss differently? Again, if I looked at it as a lack of knowledge and something that could be achieved. Well, one, I love when we look at it as a lack of knowledge because it really opens us up to a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is what helps us to achieve more and get beyond where we are today. Carol Dweck is the mother of the growth mindset concept. Carol believes that when people believe in the growth mindset, it allows them to grow more and achieve more. She says, in a growth mindset, people believe that their most basic abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Brains and talent are just a starting point. This view creates a love of learning and a resiliency that is essential for great accomplishment. So I want to help you with that great resiliency and sense of accomplishment. So what we're going to work on today is a learning plan for you. So how does one create a learning plan? Well, the way I do it, and I've been doing it for the past few years, is by using a mind map to create my plan for learning. It makes it fun, it makes it easy, it makes it very visual for me, which is really an important part of it. So I can see what it is I need to learn to do so that I can accomplish my goals. So when I'm working on this plan for learning, I want to look at my overall big picture goal and define what that is. So that's the very, very first step in this, is deciding what goal I want to accomplish. A goal can be very specific, like losing weight, and I can create a learning plan around just that. Or I can have a bigger plan, like, increase my overall wellness, right? Which might include losing weight, but it might also include gaining additional strength, so building my body stronger. It might include becoming healthier in general. So maybe it means visiting a doctor and figuring out new medicines for myself. It might mean spending more time with friends because I want more social wellness. So again, it really depends on you and what level you want to set as your goal. Today, as our example, I'm going to use the goal to grow my business. This is a pretty lofty goal. So when I look at that, I can say, okay, I want to grow my business. What are the big things that I need to do to achieve growing my business? Well, I want to think of about 5 things that I want to use as those big buckets underneath the concept of grow my business. I say it 5 because I find that that's really all the human mind can handle remembering. If I come up with 10 things that I need to do to grow my business, it kind of takes me off path and I really can't focus. But what I find is that we can focus on 3 to 5 things. I think less than 3 things is actually too little. It doesn't make it a big enough plan to make it worth us remembering. But over 5 things can also send us off onto kind of a crazy path and we can't remember what we're focusing on. Part of this is that we really, again, want to have that balance of how many things and keeping ourselves challenged. You know, we want to get ourselves just outside our comfort zone, but into our learning zone. So again, about 5 different subcategories is what we want to focus on. So if I take, again, the big picture category of grow my business as my goal, and I want to create a learning plan around that, I'm going to then decide I'm going to have, in my case, I've decided 4 different categories that would go underneath it that I want to focus on to grow my business. One of those categories is I want to write a book. I think a book will be a great way to grow my business and really up my credentials. I also want to focus on marketing and social media. It's an area I totally need to expand to grow my business. The third area I need to focus on is kind of the business itself, the infrastructure. How do things happen? What automations need to be put in place so that I can be more efficient in running my business? And the fourth area that I want to focus on is online classes. So to start a mind map with this, I'm going to take, and I've got a handout for you, and you guys can print it out. And this handout has 5 circles on it. And again, I put 5 on there because that's the maximum number of circles I want you to worry about right now. Because again, we want to make sure that you're able to juggle all of the different categories. And I promise you, if you get over 5, it gets really complicated. So take this handout, and on the top of the handout, write, what's your big goal? Again, I use the example of grow my business, but it might be awesome at my new job, or it might be find a new job, or it might be something, innovate a new product. So it could be anything whatsoever. It could be get healthy. Whatever it is, take that big picture idea and write it across the top of the page on the line. Now think about what are the 3 to 5 areas that would support that goal. So what are the big chunks? So again, for me, I had said book, social media and marketing, business, and online classes. So I'm going to take those, and if you notice, these circles are not all exactly the same size. So I want to prioritize. Which one's the one that I'm going to get the biggest bang for my buck out of? The one that I want to spend most of my time on, the one that really supports this goal the most. And for me right now, that's social media and marketing. I need to up my game in social media and marketing, hands down, to really make an impact. The next area is I need to write a book. So again, I want to take and I want to prioritize by filling in the circles and using the biggest circle to represent the biggest chunk of my learning plan. Now, once I have those circles filled out, the next thing I want to do is I want to decide my hole of knowledge. Okay, so what this means is when I look at that big circle of like social media and marketing, I want to figure out, when I think about that subject, how much don't I know? And how much, it's kind of almost even how much effort am I going to have to put in to expand my knowledge to fill this entire circle? So I'm going to take and I'm going to draw a second circle inside the large circle. And this second circle is my whole of knowledge. So again, if I look at my categories here and I think about social media and marketing, I'm going to have a pretty big circle. This is actually a real big downfall of mine. I really need a lot of knowledge around this and a lot of help. So that's a good point. Sometimes knowledge is resources, and it might even be deciding that you're not going to take it on yourself, but you're going to designate it to someone else. And we'll kind of get to how we do that designation in a minute. But again, it's kind of that space of what's stopping me and how big is that hole from stopping me from achieving my goal and being good at social media and marketing. So I'm going to do that for all of my categories. In my area of book, I know a little bit about writing a book, but I have a pretty good size hole there too. There's a lot of things I'm going to need to learn. Actually, on the business side, my hole is pretty small. I know a lot about running a business. I've been a serial entrepreneur for years, but maybe here it's more about implementation or finding partners to be able to help me get things done. So I have a smaller hole. And in the online classes, very similarly, I've run online classes before, so I'm going to have a smaller hole there. But I still have knowledge that I could learn to really up my game in that area. So now that I've decided my areas of focus, I've decided my holes of knowledge, now is the fun part to complete my learning plan. I'm going to take on the outside of my circle and I'm going to create spokes. And these spokes are the resources that I have to fill in that gap in knowledge that I have. So resources. Resources can be absolutely anything. They can be tasks that I can achieve, so really giving myself some to-dos that would fill in my hole of knowledge or kind of my hole of accomplishment. They can be books that I could read and articles or areas that I want to focus and study. It could even be a Google search I need to do to fill in that hole of knowledge. It can be people I need to meet with. Or resources. Again, we're not going to achieve everything ourselves. So in my social media area, I have written on the outside of mine, hire a social media person. So now I don't have to know everything to fill in that hole of knowledge. I can hire somebody to fill in some of it. This works in many cases, but not for everything. So you want to look at all of the different resources that you have to fill in your hole of knowledge and this is creating your plan. What I love about this is it's super, super simple. There's nothing complicated about a learning plan, but it gives you a really great idea of where to focus and what things you need to focus on so that you're able to achieve that goal. I thought I'd take a few more minutes and share some additional learning plans that I've created as examples, just to help get your head around this concept because it's a little bit different. Say you're new at a job and you want to create a learning plan that says, be awesome at my new job. That's totally a possibility. What you want to focus on then is to look at and say, what are the things that I'm going to need to do with this new job to be successful? And what are my holes of knowledge that I have? They might be truly content knowledge that you need. You may need to learn specifics about your job. It might be systems knowledge. If you've moved into an area that uses a lot of technology, systems issues might really be something that you have a lot of hole of knowledge in. A new job, even networking, may be an area that you have a hole of knowledge in, and it's very important to achieving the goal of being great at your new job. Another example that I put together was even finding a new job. That's a very goal-oriented thing. And you want to take the time to decide, how can I be successful and what are my holes of knowledge in finding a new job? There, I came up with the ideas of, again, networking and what's my hole of knowledge in networking. There I share, possibly things like read a book or meet with a new person 3 times a week, so it can be, how do I do it? How do I fill in that hole of knowledge? Other areas to find a new job is to look at your personal branding. What do I know about my own personal brand and how can I achieve that? Maybe I need to hire a coach. Even appearance could be something that needs to be on your list if you're, again, looking for a new job. So the items that fall on each of these learning plans are really unique to you. It's what you think you need to focus on to be awesome at whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. I hope this helps you today, and I can't wait for you to get busy and create your own learning plan. I would love it if some people would post even a photo of the learning plans that you create and share some of the ideas. Maybe even ask some people some questions about how that you could fill in holes of knowledge that you have and see if you can get other people to help you brainstorm. Thanks so much, and keep learning and keep growing. Thank you.